Well, congratulations, Dane Zorko, the 2017 Merritt Murray medalist. An absolutely fantastic win. We will be joined by him very shortly on the live stream as the dancing and the partying goes on in there. Right now, though, it's time to chat to the senior coach, Chris Fagan, as he gets congratulated by a lot of fans on their way out of the event. Chris, what about Dane Zorko, a very deserving winner?
Yes, I think he would have been the popular pick coming into the event, and no doubt had a wonderful season and thoroughly deserved the victory. Made a terrific speech, and on top of being an All-Australian this week, he's had one of the best weeks of his life, I reckon.
What sort of a player is he to coach? I mean, obviously you've worked with him for a year now. What's he like around the club?
Oh, the word that springs to mind about him is passionate. Like, he does everything at 100 miles per hour. You know, the way you see him play on the weekends is the way that he trains during the week and the way that he acts around the club. I don't know where he gets all the energy from, but he certainly brings a lot to the table.
And we also saw Tom Rockcliffe place third in the voting and take out the Players' Player Award. Coming from the position he was last year, where there was a lot of speculation about him when you came to the club, you must feel so proud to see him recognised in that way.
Yeah, I am. He's worked hard on his game this year, and he's worked hard on the way he's perceived around the footy club, and I'm not sure whether what happened last year was fair or not to him, but all I can judge Tom on is how he's been around the club this year, and he's certainly been a guiding force to our young players. He's played different roles for us during the season. I mean, one of his best roles was on Bryce Gibbs, where he only had 10 possessions himself, but he kept Bryce to 8, and he was prepared to do things for the team this year to help us win, and love the way he went about it.
I did hear a funny anecdote in the recent Lions season review on the Lions website that after that tagging role on Bryce Gibbs, you got an email from an AFL fantasy player about Tom Rockcliffe.
I did. Very concerned about the fact that he was going to play a similar role for the rest of the season, and wanted to know whether he was going to or not, just in case he needed to change his team. So I never responded to that email, but it was a very impressively written email.
Okay, so no fantasy updates from you next season either?
Not at all.
No, not at all. We also saw Sam Mays round out the top 5 in the countdown. Now, he's had probably a career best year this year. Can you just speak about his development and I guess what he brings to the team?
Yeah, it may have surprised a few people to see Sam up so high, but he was so consistent. I think he played every game bar one. He was so consistent for us throughout the season. His numbers are sort of quite elite for a rebounding defender, and hopefully that's just the beginning for him, that he can take his game to another level next year. But, you know, he averaged around 23, 24 possessions, lots of pressure acts, rebounded really well for us, and yeah, hopefully he's got a lot of confidence from the season.
Obviously tonight is all about looking back over season 2017. When you look at that group there tonight, obviously all dressed up, is there a real sense of pride at what they've achieved already? And I know there's a long way to go, but how much has already been done?
Yeah, you sort of look at them up there and listen to them talk and how they look and how they interact with each other, and the positivity around the footy club at the moment. And it does make you feel optimistic for the future. I think they're a very hungry group. I think they've got a little bit of belief this year that they can compete with the best. We've got a long way to go, though. We did finish 18th, but you wouldn't think so to be here tonight with the amount of positivity and optimism that's around the place. And really looking forward to see how they turn up when we get back to pre-season, and how hard they can work and how much they can grow again next year.
Now, we did see, obviously, the highlights of the season as we went round by round through the votes. What was your personal favourite moment from season 2017?
My favourite moment, other than when Jared Berry and Hugh McCluggage debuted together against St Kilda in round 3, was one of the great stories, given their mates from a long time. But the big moment was the victory against Essendon at Etihad Stadium. There's no doubt about that. It's hard to win on the road. Essendon are a finals team. There were 40,000 screaming Essendon supporters at Etihad Stadium that day. We had to come from behind, and we found a way, and there was a lot of emotion out of that game, and a lot of belief came from it.
Well, Chris, I've been told to keep talking to you until Dane Zorko comes to join us here for a chat.
Right.
So I guess let's just reflect more on the season that was on season 2017.
Called ad-libbing. Ad-libbing?
We're ad-libbing at the moment, and I think we're doing it really smoothly. I think it's flawless at the moment. Yeah. Let's just look back onto round 1, because obviously tonight, seeing that footage of the win against Gold Coast, brought back a lot of memories, and I imagine for you, winning your first game as an AFL coach was maybe not something you expected to happen, but something that was quite incredible to achieve.
Yeah, looking up at that, it seems such a long time ago now. Obviously it was 6 months ago, but it was a special moment. from a personal point of view, you often wonder as a coach when you're actually going to get your first win. And I was really pleased to get a tick off on my first game. It took us a while to win our second, but it was a fabulous effort from the boys, because we'd played Gold Coast about a month earlier in a practice game, and they cleaned us up. So we went there determined to get a victory. We travelled down on a bus together just to build that team cohesion. The start was unbelievable. I'm sitting in the box just before quarter time thinking, how easy is this coaching gig? And
I was in the stands that day, and we were thinking Chris Fagan's the saviour.
Yeah, well and truly up by half time, and then they got back into the game, and we found a way in the end to get across the line. It was really exciting for the group. There's obviously a lot of rivalry between us and the Gold Coast, and to go down there and beat them at their home ground was fantastic.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. We have just had Dane Zorko wander over with his Merritt Murray medal in hand, so we will get to him shortly. But thank you so much. I will let you get back in the room. Are you much of a dancer?
Well, they're playing a few tunes there. I'm looking forward to being able to get up there and shake the booty a little bit.
Well, thanks so much for a great year, Chris, and we look forward to hearing from you shortly.
Thanks very much. Cheers.